Hello, Adeyemi.
Mm. Hello,
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good, thanks.
Ellen, right?
Yes.
How is everything going? Hello, Mr. John.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Claudine, how are you today?
Hi, John. Hi, Adeyemi. Hi,
Long time,
everybody.
Claudia. Where have you been?
I've been around.
Don't be missing in action, okay?
Okay, I'll repent. I'll give my life to Christ this night.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, good to see you.
Hello,
Hello, Coach.
See you
Hello.
too. Hi, everybody.
Nice to see you.
Awesome.
Thank
Hi.
you.
How you doing?
Ellen, nice to see you, Ellen.
Same here.
All right. As you all may know, today we have um guests. We have a guest host, Adeyemi, Mr. Adeyemi, and then we also have people that are not a part of this platform join. So it's actually an open session. Well, today is one of those days that we seek for inspiration, and we have a very special guest in the house, Mr. Adeyemi, who used to be one of us. So he passed through the same platform that you all are dreaming to overcome. And I would say Adeyemi used to be I look up to him as one of my best students, really. And to me, best would mean that you're giving your all to achieve your goal. So it wasn't like there were not moments where, you feel demotivated like everyone else. There were those moments, to be honest with you. But whenever we get to discuss about it, he's always ready to take feedback, apply feedback, and run. And right now, I'm so proud that he's not coming here as a student anymore. He's coming here as an agile coach. So we will be learning, I believe, a lot from Adeyemi today. Adeyemi will be sharing his real world experience being on the ground as an agile coach. I'm sure he has also experienced what it means to be a Scrum Master. And I'm sure his job title has something to do with IT program manager, something like that. So for those who had the question that we talked about a few weeks ago regarding, I think Esther was the one who asked that question, if I remember correctly, how to handle this job titles we see out there, project managers, Scrum Masters. So how do we handle that? So I'm sure today you should be asking that question, and let's see how it goes. Anyway, without further ado, I have already said my little piece about Adeyemi and why he's here today. So I'm just going to give him the floor to share quickly, first to introduce himself, and then we go from there. Thank you.
Thank you,
By the way,
Coach.
before you say anything, I just want to say thank you very much for coming back here to give back, because that's what's really going on. We always appreciate that. We never take it for granted. So please go ahead.
All right, thank you, Coach. It's a great honor to answer your call and to give back to the society. Thank you for this platform, this opportunity. My name is Adeyemi Kuye. Currently, I'm an Agile coach with RBS. And prior to this, I was Agile delivery lead with Capital One. And before that, I supported different teams from different organizations, many more. So I'm here to answer any question you have, any doubts, and to give you support, moral support. And I'm here for you today. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So, Tim, I just want to provide a little agenda on how the session will be structured. I have some few conversational questions that I will be running over. And through those questions, I'm very sure that you guys will be gaining some value, having some insights. That's how the questions are structured. And then as we proceed, if you guys have questions, please take down your questions. We would definitely reserve some time to address those questions. So my first question to you would be, can you just go ahead and share with us, your Agile journey or your journey into becoming an Agile coach? Let's start from there. Just give us your background and how you got here.
All right, thank you. So, personally, I study philosophy, and philosophy, it's more like my foundation. When I came to United States, I wandered around and see what can I do. And before that, I was more like a project manager in Nigeria for coming here. And when I came to United States, I started with that. And along the line, I stumbled into Scrum Mastery. And I find it difficult getting job after reading, doing certification and other things. So I was not connecting, so I wasn't able to connect the dots. While I was doing my research, I came across being Agile, and I met Coach Karen, and she talks about mentoring. And that's when it dawned on me that every day, sometimes in our lives, we say we want to do something and we start it. Even when you start, you still need someone that has gone through that experience. You need a mentor. Without a mentor, you just be walking in the woods just like that and not hitting the right points. So that's when I came around and I was able to join the class. And in less than a few months, I was able to connect all the dots, saw my gap, and I was able to leverage on that. And before I know it, I got 3 or 4 right away. And after I got 3 or 4, I was like, what's going on? So, well, I was glad I met Coach, and I was glad I decided to go that mentor route. As I was able to get my first job, I had to go with Capital One. And after they decided to lay off their team for Agile team, that was in March this year. I was like, what's going on? I just came in and you guys decided to do something else. So I was like, well, I just dusted up my CV the very day they mentioned dates. And the funny thing was that the next job I applied for, the person fell in love with me on the first conversation, phone conversation. And she said, no, I have to have you. I was thinking they were joking because I applied for an Agile coach. I applied for a Scrum Master with the same company. And they said, no, there has to be an Agile coach. And not just an Agile coach, I'm the manager of the Agile coach team. So one thing I will encourage us to do is just focus on that mentorship is very important. So that is how my journey has been so far. Thank you.
I cannot be anything than proud, really, when I see us from this platform just kicking ass in the real world. It's just everything to me. And I'm so proud of you. So you have shared all your background, but what we haven't heard is what really inspired you to start this journey to become a Scrum Master, even before you started doing research and found me. I'm not sure where you found me, but if you quickly share with us what inspired you to start this thing. People get into this path for different reasons. Some people are motivated by, oh, they pay over $100,000 per year. I want to belong to the, what do you call it, the big boys or the Odogu club. Okay. And then some other people are motivated by all of their friends are doing it. So I want to do this too. Some other people are motivated by the heard that, okay, you can work from home. Now they want to be able to have flexibility around their schedules, especially those with kids. Some other people are motivated by they've learned some things about it and it really resonate with them naturally. And they fall in love with it, they are passionate about it, and they want to do this for the sake of passion, which that is me. So what would be your own inspiration behind starting this thing?
Thank you for that. So for me, there are various factors that I considered that helped me to go this route. So one of the first thing I found out was that if you're in your comfort zone, you end up not growing. I was done with where I was and I needed to step up because for me, personal growth is very important. So I had to leave my comfort zone to move upward. And the next thing is comfortability in terms of work from home. That's the second thing I made research about in terms of how comfortable am I going to be with my family, be able to work from home and other things. And the last option was the one you mentioned when it comes to money, because this role is not an entry role. So for you to go into it, it's a big role, and money is part of the factor. But the most important thing you have to consider is, are you willing to learn? Are you ready to leave your comfort zone? Because once you take that step, it's a continuous journey. You don't start it and end where you are. You have to keep learning and learning and learning. If you can't do that, I will say don't come into this.
Thank you. I like that. Thank you so much. Yeah, this whole journey, it's a never-ending learning process. But the good news is that the journey towards learning is the most exciting. Imagine that you get to learn a new thing. I usually like to relate it with kids. Sometimes you may be trying to show kids, like my kid, something, especially my son, he's so impatient to just focus and learn one thing or pronounce something correctly. And then I want to make sure he finally pronounced that thing correctly. And then he's frustrated. And then when he gets to pronounce it, he's the most happiest.
Yeah.
He's so happy. He'll say, I did it. So that's the same feeling for me when in the quest of, continuous learning and improvement, I get to learn something every day from every one of you on the ground. And, it's very exciting. So that's a good thing about the learning aspect of this journey. So you've given us the great insight about your background, what inspired you, and so far we've learned that you worked with Capital One before as the Agile delivery lead, which I know that because I know you had a couple of job offers before you finally settled with that one, and then they laid you off, and now you currently are an Agile coach for Agile coaches. So my question to you would be, so far, if you can highlight one or two key challenges that you have faced on the ground and how were you able to overcome it, that would be great.
Right. So I'm gonna put it in two ways, if you don't mind. As a Scrum Master, there are a lot of challenges when I was with Capital One. So most of the challenge I got right there, it's that fixed mindsets. A lot of people, they're in their comfort zone, the way they've been doing things, the way they've been delivering, they want to focus on that. They are not ready for change. So that is one thing I found out right there. So the first thing I did was I had to sit down with the team, get to observe, listen to their point of view, because you just don't jump into conclusion. You don't make assumption. You don't try to change things without understanding what exactly is the issue right there. So one thing I noticed is they always say they don't want too much of meetings and why should they be breaking stories down, all those things. So the first thing I do is get to understand them. When you are able to understand them, then you'll be able to bring in your ideas. And when you bring in your ideas, there are ways you can approach it. You don't have to come in and instruct them. It's more of an opinion. And if you see their strong minds, what you do next is, what I did next was I was able to approach someone influential among them, reach out to that person, give them the idea and bring it to the team. And they bought into it. The moment they bought into it, what I did next is I didn't bring it to the team. So I had to go through that person to bring it to the team. So hearing from someone they know and trust, they were able to buy in. So that's one thing I was able to achieve there. Then currently with my organization as an Agile coach, one challenge I've experienced here is the leadership. It's very difficult when it comes to buying. Currently, they've tried to transition into Agile 3 times right now. So this is their 4th rodeo. So buying in is a very difficult one, and they are used to their waterfall environment and how they deliver. So the next thing I was able to do is I was able to partner with the learning and development team to see how we can structure the learning, and not just structure the learning. It has to be repetitive and it has to be constant, because there is something we need to do. We just keep hammering those points out there. So as we're doing it regularly, we're able to get more buy-in and we're able to leverage on some influential people at the top, like the TMO Transformation Management Office leaders. We're able to bring them into it. and so forth. Then for the team level, because that's another ball game entirely. So for the team level, it's kind of easy to sell it to them, and it's easy and straightforward to get buy-in. So those are the challenges when it comes to transformation in our job. So buy-in is very key.
Awesome. Okay, so I've heard buy-in from leadership is a huge challenge. I've also heard buy-in from team members is another challenge, and the way you were able to overcome that is forming an alliance with someone the team already knows and they trust. And through that person, you were able to get the team on the other side, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Now, my next question for you would be, what could you highlight a particular memorable success that you've achieved so far on the ground that whenever you think about it makes you feel really good? What would that be?
Wow. There are a lot of memorable success and a lot. So I would say the one, though I didn't know about it, but when I was living in Capital One, when they were doing the Sense Forts for us, one thing the team member kept mentioning was the way I came in. I'm more of a listener. And when I open my mouth to say something, everybody's like, what's going on? And everybody's ready to listen to what I'm going to say
So
and to buy in.
nice.
And they were like surprised that when I came in, nobody turns on their camera. Everybody's working silo. But 2 weeks into my work, everybody comes on camera. They are ready to listen. We don't do refinements. Everybody's ready to come in for refinement because we call it information center. So they were ready to learn because it's going to help them in what they are doing. So when they were mentioning all that and they're like, how did I do it? I was like, what did I do? So that's my memorable moments when I get to see my team talk about that. I was able to influence them with what I practice. What I just don't say it, I practice it. Because from my very first day, I turned on my camera. I was like, who is this guy? Who is the new sheriff in town? I told them I'm not a Scrum police, but I'm here to support them. So I was leading with influence. Then I bring out data. So whatever I say or the idea I want to bring, I bring in data. Because when you have empirical data, it helps. So that helps a lot.
Amazing. So what I've gathered so far on your memorable successes would be you were able to influence the team to build more relationship through connecting in person physically, not just hiding behind their screens. And that makes a huge difference, especially in a virtual space, and for those that are listening, if you are really looking into getting into this space as an agile practitioner, especially for our level 2 people, and for some reason, up to now, you're still not switching on your camera. I have no idea how you want to practice getting comfortable so that when you get on the ground, you already be used to it. At the end of the day, we cannot force you. I try so hard to do exactly what Adeyemi have said, lead by example, which is why I'm always on camera, regardless of how I look.
And I'm sorry about that. And Agile always talk about face-to-face conversation.
Yeah.
How do we exhibit that?
Yeah, exactly. So there'll be times when my hair is all messed up. I will still show up because I don't want to say one thing and do another, and I try so much to be as authentic as possible. So allow other people to also feel free, especially those that this is so new to them, to feel like this is a safe space where you can show up with your authentic self and no one is judging you because we are here for only one reason, to learn. We are not here for looks because I know everyone is very beautiful just the way they are. So yeah, so this is your best place to practice, do a show. I'm not sure how you call it where you come from. So that when you get on the real world, it's not going to be too new to you because imposter syndrome already is very real. You don't want all these other things to add on your imposter syndrome. It's bad. So again, I can only talk, but I cannot force you guys. So I would suggest you really take opportunity and start practicing these things. Yeah, so that's one thing I heard. And then what was the other thing that you did? I just want to make sure we are capturing the key points. So I heard about you influencing them to switch on their camera. And then, what was the other one you said? I hear me.
Refinement. Refinement is something I brought in, and we call it information center.
Okay, and then I heard data too. Data is the other one I want to hit on. So there are times when, I mean, a big part of our job is to be comfortable explaining concepts to people, which is what I do a lot, as you all know. There are times when people may completely be so emotional, misunderstanding things, and it only takes you to be patient as an Agile practitioner. Take your time to explain this thing to this person from an honest place, not judging them. You see the kind of difference it can make. So for you to successfully do that and not keep talking, just go ahead and show data. Back it up, whatever you're explaining to them with data. Then look, this is data to prove, and you guys know numbers don't lie. Especially from a leadership perspective, you just being able to show them data, the argument, it just sees the arguments, and then it's all up to them to make their decision or whatever they want to do. Yeah, so thank you very much. Now, this is another very important question. So, Agile frameworks like Scrum and Kanban are really widely used out of the so many different frameworks. So have you ever been in a position where you needed to guide your teams on which framework to choose? Because they cannot be doing all the frameworks. They will have to choose and settle with maybe one or two, depending on whatever is going on. So how were you able to help? If you've been in that situation, how were you able to help these teams decide on which framework to adopt?
All right, thank you. So when it comes to framework, like we know, we have different kind of framework. We've got Scrum, Kanban, XP, Lean, and all those things. But the most important thing with my current organization, we have over 40 teams that I support. So we have about 10 of them that mainly use Kanban. So for them to arrive at that, what we look at is the software they're delivering, what they are working on. Is it more of support? Is it more of new functionalities? Is it more of new epics and features? All those things will determine which kind of framework they will do. So, but mostly we make use of Scrum, and for those teams with support and probably launching and delivering and backup. That's for cloud team. We use Kanban. So what they are delivering will determine the kind of framework they're gonna use. So if it's something new that they need to work on iteration little by little to deliver, we recommend they go for Scrum. Or if it's something they have to deliver every week, like a support work, we make use of Kanban.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is you guide them based on you all shared understanding or alignment on the kind of problem you're trying to solve.
Correct.
And then from that place, you agree on which framework will best solve that problem.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank
And
you
when
very
we
much.
agree on that, we still go and make use of those Scrum events because those Scrum events are very key. In one way or the other, they create transparency, give room for inspection. So even if you're a Kanban team, you still do those events. So that's what we do.
Okay. All right. Good. Thank you very much. So have you ever been in a situation where you join a team or in your organization, do you have a team that feels like they're already very mature? And they actually may be doing okay, they may be doing really good, but they feel like they don't need any more learning because they're good. They're good, So I know with the whole Agile concept, we want to keep having that self-starter mindset of we never know it all. It's never enough. There is always an opportunity to learn. If you think you have met your potential or your goal, that ceases to be your potential. It means that there is more you can accomplish. Every time you hit whatever big thing you were hoping to get, it means that there is something more. You can go even further. So have you ever come across that kind of team who believes that, no, we don't need any learning. We're good. We're already doing great. That's good enough. So how have you been able to deal with that situation to empower them to adopt that self-starter mindset and consistently look for opportunities to improve?
Thank you for that. So with my current organization, we experience that a lot because we are still in our transition phase. So we have a lot of teams, they claim they are into Agile, they know Agile. But what we do is we say, okay, fine, you know Agile, okay, let's put everything down. We go into their events, see how they are operating, and we get to see they are not there yet. And one thing about Agile is a continuous learning process. If you claim you know it all, then you are not Agile. So by the time we sit down, look at their events, start discussing, see how they prioritize, how they have their roadmap and their user story journey, they are still waterfall mindset. So with that, what we do is we just sit them down, ask some basic questions. Sometimes we do like an agile assessment, agility assessment, and with that we see the gap. So the moment we see the gap, we see that, okay, this is a way where we can improve and learn. And we show the data to the team and like, something's missing. And
Okay.
when I see something is missing, then okay, what do we need to do? What can we do? And we take it up from there.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah, I would agree with you. In my own experience, every time a team claims they know it all, they end up being the least team who knows anything. That has been my experience. And then most of the time, a team that actually acknowledges. I usually use some exercise. I draw a ruler. Let's say if I'm using a mirror board, I draw a ruler on the board and I rate it from 1 to 5. And then anytime I connect with the team, I'll ask them to rate their knowledge of Agile on that ruler. Just drag your name and place it where you think you belong. For me, all the people that will place their names on 5, those are the people I have to pay attention to. But those that will place their name, in the middle or below, okay, yes, I'll know this kind of people are really open to learning. Yeah, and those people that usually rate themselves so high are, in my experience, are usually the most resistant people. Because it's a mindset thing. They believe they already know it all. And then when you identify gaps, you're looking to help them improve, they become defensive because they just want everyone they want you to see it as a know-it-all. And they fail to understand that you're not there to challenge them. You're only there to partner with them so you guys can get better, Yeah, so all right. Thank you very much. So my other question for you, which is something most of our team members have been curious about, this question was raised 2 weeks ago, even though we've discussed this many times, but again, we have new people. Now share with us because you were hired as what's that, IT program manager?
Agile Coach manager. So we have a team of Agile coaches here.
Oh, okay.
So I'm the one that leads everyone.
Okay, so I think the question the team has been pondering about is how do you like these roles that are put out there as project managers, Scrum Masters, like what is the expectation? How do you handle something like that? Have you been in that experience or no?
I won't say yes and I won't say no. So when I was applying, when you look at most applications, you see Scrum Master / project manager. They are just entitled. The most important thing is you read through what are the functions, what are the things they want you to do. That's what matters. And you can decide to apply. I think it's great to apply. The most important thing is ask them questions during the interview. What are the things you want? What are your challenges? Where do you want me to come in? Because what the company is going through is what they will put out there. And sometimes they might copy and paste those applications. They then go into it. But when you ask them the question, you might be able to identify what they really need. And as a Scrum Master and a project manager, I think it's something we can do. Anybody can do it. So what they are looking at is someone that has the waterfall background or can transition the team into Agile. That's what they are looking at, but they might not see it.
Yeah.
So it now depends on how you can apply your experience to it.
Awesome. So I usually, when we are discussing in level 2 class, one thing that I usually hope that the mentees will get is that as long as you set your mind to anything, you can do it. That's really all it takes. You just have to set your mind to it. And the way this program is structured, it equips you with all the skills you need to be successful as a program manager, as a Scrum Master, as an Agile coach, which you are definitely an example, as a Scrum Master, as what's the other one? IT project manager and all of that. So if you see these job postings out there, don't be scared. Really. The worst they can do is to say no. That's the worst they can do, is to say no to you. Or you apply and then you get that annoying, unfortunately, email.
Unfortunately.
And yeah, and nothing will happen to you. Nothing will happen to you. And if you get the opportunity to go express yourself, go. You're not losing anything. Go talk to these people. Learn what they have, what they want, or what they need, what they're looking for. And then you see if, okay, that's something you have those skill set. If not, be comfortable, be confident to ask them. So what are some of the things that is important that you'd suggest I go pay attention to after this interview, hoping I'm called for the next one? And once they will never say, no, I'm not going to tell you. They will tell you. And once they tell you, seize that as an opportunity and jump on it. There was one of us, I think his name was JP. He left this forum the day he was sharing his testimonial when he got his job. He said something that every time he goes for an interview and they ask him a question and he doesn't know the answer to that question, that is the last time he will ever not know the answer to that question. Because immediately after he hangs up from that call, whether they plan to call him back or not, that's the first action item he jumps on to fix it. You know, and there are many in this digital space, the resources are just all over the place. So if you really want to learn something, all you need to do is dig it. You will get it. So if you see these postings out there, regardless of the title, as long as the qualification is looking for a Scrum Master, Agile Coach, and all of that, that is what you've been equipped with on this platform. Don't be afraid of titles. Just go ahead and apply. All right. My next question to you would be, so in your experience as an Agile coach, how do you interact or collaborate with leaders? What role do leadership really play in your day-to-day work life?
All right. So when it comes to leaders, when they relate with the Agile coaches, there are one or two things they're looking at. They want to get to see how the team are performing. What could they do to support the team? So that's when we relate more. But when it comes to leader, because part of the foundation we're able to bring into the organization is we want this team to be autonomous. We want this team to be self-organized. So leaving them out there and again, kind of like they are impatient and want to know what's going on. So they try as much as possible to relate with us. Then when they are having anything challenging, that's where they come into the Agile coach. Okay, what are the things we can do better to help the organization, to not just the team? Because as an Agile coach and a Scrum Master, you're not just supporting the team. You're going to support the product owner, the product management team, and even the organization at large when it comes to Agile transformation. There might be one or two decisions they want to make, or reach out to you as a coach. Okay, this is what we're planning to do. What can you give us as an advice? So it's very important to have that growth mindset, to be ready to learn, to know more than what you are meant to do. So there's something I learned from you then is, you call it pop nose. That when you get somewhere, you want to learn what other
For those who
people are
don't
doing.
understand what pop nose is nosy, being very nosy.
So always ready to learn other things. So just in case if there's a need for it, it's going to come in handy. So we support the organization too at large in terms of decision making. When it comes to budgeting, though we have limited experience right there, we don't dabble into it. So, but when it comes to delivering, agile transformation and other things, making decisions, we are there to support the organization too at large.
Okay, awesome. So now my question is, I have a follow-up question to that, which most of some people here who are still dreamers. They're still looking to get to where you are right now. That's a real challenge for them. They usually wonder, like, are you not scared to talk to those leaders? Are you not scared to approach them? Like, if they thought this is someone paying you, this person is actually paying you. So if you see this person doing something wrong, are you not afraid to actually talk to them? So how do you go about that?
Correcting and giving out your points. There's something I've mentioned before, and I will keep mentioning it again. Data. When you have data to back up your saying, it goes a long way. There is a thing to say something, and there is nothing to prove it. But when you have something to prove it, you have something to show. Then listen, because we are more of a data driven. Within the in the world right now, when you have a flow of traffic to a site, and you say, okay, you want to put data, is that data you're gonna use to analyze? Or you use the data to say something, you make use of data to make decisions. So when you have your data to back up what you're saying, it's easy to. And the most important thing again is believe in yourself. Don't doubt yourself. The moment you doubt yourself, even when you know it's gonna disappear. So believe in yourself, even in your vulnerability, and have data to back it up. And
Nice.
sky's
That's
the
really
beginning.
good. Yes. So I just want to add to that, to say that, which is why I usually tell people that as an agile practitioner, it's not a one-man show. You can never succeed as an island. We need each other, which is why we protect this community with everything we have so that it stays very, very effective and healthy for everyone, regardless of your background, regardless of your culture, to feel safe to come here and learn. You see, so there are times when I feel like, I don't feel confident enough to go challenge an idea, because that's what I'm really looking to challenge opinion, not challenging a person, you see. So how do I, gather momentum? I just double check with my peers, jump in the community of practice, ask questions like, this is what's going on, this is the issue, and this is how I'm planning to handle it. What do you think? Just 1, 2, 3 people agreeing to what you have as a plan, then it will increase your confidence and you go and do what you need to do. And then secondly, that is why I really value the Scrum values. This is where the courage comes in, the courage piece of things. As an agile practitioner, Jeff Sutherland, I like this thing he said, that Scrum is like your mother-in-law that is there to expose your problems. So most of the time you're exposing these gaps not because you want them to do something, you want them to must fix it. Your job, to say you're doing your job as an agile practitioner, is to be courageous enough to challenge the status quo and point out, the gaps. And then it's all up to them to fix it. You cannot force them. And then if they are willing to fix it, then you guide them. You should be willing to guide them as well towards fixing it. So that courage, to me, is what, anytime you start feeling that fear, you have to remember courage. That, okay, you will be falling short if you ignore staying courageous, so that you're achieving, you're doing your job, because that's really you doing your job. So yeah, that's what I have to say to that. So now, how are you able to measure, quantify the value that you bring into the organization as an agile coach, or the value that you bring into the teams? How do you quantify that? And the reason why I'm asking this is because, like 80% of our job is more of soft skills, really. So sometimes the value that we bring is invisible. And especially leadership that don't get the true concept of business agility, they keep questioning our worth. And then we find ourselves in a constant need to continue to prove ourselves and prove ourselves. So how do you measure the value that you bring into your teams as an agile coach?
All right. So when it comes to measuring value, though it's not quantifiable, but it's qualifiable. So what we look at is how quality is what you're bringing to the team and to the organization. So we have surveys. What we do is we have a survey. Then we do something called a link coffee, where we'll be able to ask questions to see how are we doing and if there is room for improvement. So all those ways are what we're doing. And to see how the team are performing, once the team is performing, it's led somewhere towards the Scrum Master doing a great job and towards the Agile coaches doing a great job. So all those is what we are pulling together at the end of the year to be able to measure how we're performing.
Okay, awesome. So I'm actually thinking of applying to be one of the speakers for the upcoming Scrum Master conference that will be, Laura, if you, anyway, let me do it. So it's going to take place in May in New Orleans. So that's the topic that I'm planning to talk about, how you will quantify your value as an Agile coach. So in my own experience, some ways that we've been able to translate the quantifiable value we bring into quantifiable data that leadership, can really see and understand how we roll is that when we are working with teams to identify their objectives and key results, their priorities from an Agile perspective for improvement, whatever we identified with the teams as those priorities, let's say, for example, value delivery is their priority, is one of their priority. Predictability is another priority. Another one would be team dynamic is another priority. So setting surveys and, helping assessing their current state, we generate data for that. Now, as an Agile coach, whatever the team has established as their priorities will be the same things that I am establishing as my priorities too, because I'm there to serve them. So their priorities are directly my priorities. So the data that we are measuring at the end of my service with them, would be the same data that I can confidently show that this is what I've been doing. Positive or negative, it's what it is. So that is a way that I have been able to, quantify the work that I do that is invisible to leadership, so yeah. Well, so at this point, we are 44 minutes into our meeting. I just want to ask this basic question. So what are the tools that you use as an Agile practitioner, be it a Scrum Master or an Agile coach? Because most of the time, they've been a huge debate that no, Scrum Masters don't need to know all of these tools because it's not their job. So how does this work in real life? What are some of the tools that you feel they need to know and you think it's very helpful to succeed in your role?
All right. So when we talk about tools, there are some basic tools we need to have at least 60% knowledge on how to use it. So when we talk about collaboration, tracking work, so let's say tracking work first. We have to come on one Azure DevOps and Jira. It's important to at least know how to use that. And when it comes to collaboration, setting up meetings and all those things, we'll make use of Teams or Zoom or WebEx. So at least have an idea how to set up meetings and all those things as a Scrum Master is very important. Then for some organizations have other things they make use of, for retro and other things. You can have Jamboard, you can have different things. So, well, the most important thing is just have an idea of how to use it. Then what I would recommend we always focus on is just basic knowledge of how to use Jira is very important. Because nowadays, most companies don't know how to use Jira. Their team don't know how to use Jira. They want someone that can come in, show them how to use it, not coming in and they're like, we have to train you. So have an idea of what Jira is about, what Agile DevOps is about, then the rest is a minor thing. Some organizations still use Excel, they still use PowerPoint. So
Okay.
those are
So focusing on Jira and Agile DevOps as examples, how in-depth do you need to go with that?
I don't think you need too much in depth. Having 30% knowledge, at least the basic workflow, how to move in progress to done, and how to create a user story card, where to put your user story, the details, acceptance criteria. It's pretty straightforward. So I would say knowledge of 30% will give you a head start.
Okay. So the reason I'm asking this question is because sometimes, because people have become really familiar with me saying the same thing, and now it's like a song. So they don't believe me anymore. I don't know. So sometimes it's nice to hear from another person, that is also on the field. And now I also find some team members really getting so overwhelmed and feeling like they have to master these tools. They have to know all the details and all of that. And I'm trying to help them understand that no, you really don't need to. Because these tools were not originally Scrum or anything. It's just in the quest of us doing our job, and then Agile practitioners realize that, okay, we need tools to support the work we are doing. And then they started incorporating these things into the whole Agile ways of working. And then it became a thing. It's not like you need to do some mastery, because even if you go spend 6 months now learning Jira, mastering Jira, as long as you don't have a real reason to have to use it every day, you will forget. That's just the way it is. So there's no point you trying to master it, because that's not your focus. Your own is to guide your teams to use it better. So for you to do that, the basics are good enough, so you don't have to spend all your energy trying to master everything. When you get that opportunity to land that job, you start working, there will be real need for you to want to learn specific things. And then at that time, you will be very specific on the things that you need to learn. And that's how you consistently learn every day, and you get better with the use of the tools, So now let's come to metrics. This will be the last question on the job, and then I'll touch on, your learning strategy. So what are some of the key metrics that you have used?
All right. So there are several key metrics I've used over my journey with Capital One and with my current organization now. So the most important thing is, when it comes to metrics, who are the people that benefit mostly with metrics? You have to consider that. And that's for the team and the Scrum Master, and the organization wants to see how the team is performing. So there are some basic metrics you need to consider. We look at velocity. That's between the Scrum Master and the team, to see what work was completed within the sprint and to be more predictable. Then some organization used to look at say-do ratio, and some organization used to have
What
something
ratio?
they call
Sorry, I did not hear that. What did you
say-do
say?
ratio.
Say-do
Say-do ratio.
ratio?
Yeah, you say you're going to do 10.
Oh,
How many percent
okay.
did you do? So something like that.
Okay. I've never heard about that one before.
Yeah, they do that. And we have something more of we have sprint velocity too. That's okay. That's what I mentioned for velocity, the say-do ratio. Then the burn-down charts is another metric some teams used to use with their team to see the progress every day. And for the qualitative, we have survey, where we send a survey to the team, where quarterly they answer that to see how they are working together in terms of collaboration and other things. So metrics vary from organization to organization. That's what I
Okay.
would say. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So now, when you were in this program, given that we have so many resources here, so how were you able to strategize to really optimize your time here?
I'll say you have to dedicate at least 80% of your time, because what you're doing is more of a continuous learning. And for you to learn as fast as you can, you need to dedicate more. Then you need to participate more, and you need to be more vocal. So there is something you might have in your head, and when you don't say it out, it's nothing. So the more you participate, the more you vocal, the more you read, the more you learn, the more you learn from your mistake, the more you're getting closer to your destination. So being available, being present, be ready to learn, be ready for those criticism. It's very important. When you get those feedback, is not to fight you or anything. It's for you to pick them, pick what you feel is right that you can learn from. Then the rest, let go.
Okay.
Those are the things that helped me.
Thank you. So what were the opportunities you used, or the platforms you used, to really be able to learn and practice and be present, like you're saying, during your time here?
Okay, all right. I'll say I'll leverage the Jira class 95% of the time.
We no longer call it Jira class though, because we call
Oh,
it Jira class, people don't want to learn the
yeah.
other tools. So we now call it practice sessions, not Jira
Oh,
class
that's
anymore.
nice. Well, that's
Mhm.
good. So I would say leverage your practice session, if possible, 99.9%, because you have more people to come with different ideas. You can get 1, 2, 3, 4 ideas, put them together, and create yours.
Mhm.
Then the next thing, you can have accountability partner, and that's good too. So, but the most important thing is take time, sit down, and develop things on your own. Connect the dots. Because when you don't connect the dots and you land that job and you get in and they throw you to the wolves, it's what you know up there that will save you.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's what you have up there that will save you. And like my current job, I was meant to start 22nd of the month. Like on the 18th of the month, the learning and development manager reached out to me and said, okay, we have a training starting that very day. Am I ready to lead the team to start the training the very first day I'm starting? Like, really? I don't have a choice. I said yes. So
At
before
that
I
time, I
start my
think your
lesson,
heart was pumping like,
even I just have to, because I was able to pick the thoughts, I was able to learn from the best. As I mentioned when I started, mentorship is very important. Learn from their experience, and it's going to help you move mountains. So that's what helped me, and I was able to scale through.
awesome. I see how you've recommended so many people in this program. John is one of them right there. So that's amazing. Now when it comes to the resources that the drive that is our own Google in this platform. So how are you able to leverage that? Because we know that there are so many, many, many different materials out there. So how did you go about it without feeling overwhelmed and actually making sure you're leveraging the materials?
So one thing I did was when it comes to that drive, the drive is more of 1,000 years wealth is in there. If you dive in, you dive out because you'll be lost.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is once I get any topic I'm not clear on, I go there, I search it. Once I search, I get some results, I listen to it, and I jump out. I don't want to stay in there for too long so I won't get lost. So once you don't know something, go in there, search it, pick it, understand it, make it yours. Because those things you found in there is for them. But now you need to create yours. You need to create your own experience. So I read it, I make them mine, and it's gonna be mine forever.
Awesome. Thank you very much. All right. So at this point, I'll just ask this question and then we take a question from team members. So if you were to give the team, especially those that are still dreaming, one advice, what would that be?
One advice I'll give you, if you don't mind, I'll make it 2 or 3.
Okay, go
So
ahead.
the moment you said, I want to leave my comfort zone, that means the journey is 50% done. Because if you're not ready to leave your comfort zone, you would decide to come in for class today, tomorrow you don't show up, you don't take your time to dive in. But when you're ready to leave your comfort zone, that means you're ready to move. The next thing is be ready to be mentored, be ready to learn. And from that moment, be ready that it's going to be a continuous learning forever. So once you have all those mindset and you have that mindset of a growth mindset, and the sky is the beginning. That's what I would say to anybody out
Wow,
there.
that's really good. There was a lady here, Smiles, she said something that stuck with me. I've even posted that thing on social media countless times. She said that don't be frustrated for the result you did not get, for the work you did not do. That thing really resonates with me, especially given as a mentor, I have had the opportunity to meet all sort of people. The ones that will blame me for the work they did not do, the ones that will actually put in the work and then they didn't get the result and then they are frustrated. I mean, I have seen it all. So I think what that thing Smile said Smiles used to be one of my very good students as well. You know, it really resonated with me,
I
and
know
it cannot be
Smiles.
true.
She's in Baltimore, right?
Oh, I really don't know where she is,
Yeah,
but
I
yeah.
know her.
Ah, you're there. Sorry, I'm gossiping your name when you're right. All right, thank you very much. So yeah, so at this point, thank you. I would just open it for questions. Yeah, we can go over, we can have an additional 10 minutes after the top of the hour, but if you need to leave, please feel free to hang up and there's no problem. Yes, Blossom. So please, how we usually do questions, just use the hand raise icon so we stay structured. Thank you very much. Blossom, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Coach. So sorry I can't turn on my camera because of the time. And
It's okay. I know you're in UK and it's really late right now.
All right, thank you so much, Adeyemi. This is I'm really, I've learned so much. So what I wanted to quickly ask, just 2 questions. The very first thing you said is when you join a team, you try to know them on a personal note. So I just want to know what are the few things you do to get to know them personally. That's number 1. And another thing you said was the data, that you always present data to your team. Just an example of the kind of data you present to your team when you're trying to get them to adapt those agile principles. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the question. So it's very important your first month when you join a team to have a one-on-one conversation with everybody, from leadership to even the team members. So what I do is I set up a 30 minutes with everybody. That 30 minutes is not for work, it's just to connect with them one-on-one, get to know where they are, their location, how they feel about the team, and what could be their challenge or what they think they can bring into the team. So from there, we started trying to ask what is going on within the team. So connecting with them, we give them a sense of responsibility, accountability, and connection, because you're able to reach out to them one-on-one. Whatever they can't say in the group, they can say to you. So with that, you put all those notes down, and when you come to the team, it's easy to now start relating with you. So the next thing is you ask the question about data. So it's very important, whatever you want to bring to the team, whatever solution you want to bring in, you look at your past experience. So when it comes to Scrum Master, Agile Coach, or things like that, there is a reason why they employed you. So maybe they are not delivering very well. We can easily go into their Jira, look at their past record, look at their past velocity, all those things, what you're pulling together to get your absorption. So once you have all that together, you pull it together and show the team, okay, here's what has been done. So you can now go online, get some data to say, okay, if you do it this way, this is the results you are getting. So those are the data you are comparing, what they have and what they can transition to and what can help them in the long run. So those data are very important.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
All right, great. Well, before we take other questions, before people start leaving, I just want to remind you all that, being Agile now offers safe classes. We do safe for Scrum Masters, safe for product owners, and safe for teams. So if you're interested in becoming safe certified, just visit our website and learn more. If you have questions, call us. And if you're looking to get a certification as a normal standard Scrum Master, we have an upcoming class on the 3rd of October. If you want to close the gap from just having a certification and landing a job through mentoring and coaching, which is our level 2 program, this one right here, also just visit our website. And if you're looking to become a solid Agile coach, you're currently a Scrum Master and you're aspiring to become a coach, or you're currently a coach, you want to really be in depth in your skills, we also have a mentoring program for Agile coaches. All of that is on our website. Just learn more. If you have questions, please reach out. All right. That being said, Mercy.
Thank you very much, Adeyemi, for taking all the time to come share with us. I have 2 questions. I don't know if you will be able to answer all of them, but whatever the case, I will appreciate your input. So one of the questions is, in the beginning of the class, you were talking about the things you take into consideration before choosing between Scrum and Kanban for a team. And the thing I picked up is based on kind of work the team is doing. If they are working on a new functionality, or they are working on enhancing or just maintaining and supporting another, or the non-functional aspect. So apart from that, is there any other thing that the team takes into consideration, or that the Scrum Master takes into consideration while proposing whether the team should use Scrum or Kanban?
Okay, that's another great point to ask. So when it comes to proposing, it's not just the Scrum Master proposing. So you have to look at what is on ground. There's something they are doing before. So is it really working? So if it's not working, that's when you bring in something else. There's something we used to say is if it's not broken, you don't fix it. Well, for me, I say if it's not broken, we can look for a way to improve it. So if the team are delivering, but they are not delivering enough, and the way they're working is not great, we can propose new things. So outside considering, but the most important thing you have to consider is what they are delivering. Is it data? Is it a platform team? Is it a support team? So all those things will determine, because you don't want them to start a cycle of 2 weeks to deliver. What if you need to deploy right away during the week? What if you need to deploy every 2-3 days? That will not help. So that's when you come in with a Kanban that they quickly need to do what they need to do and deploy. So the product is the number one key to decide which framework they need to use.
Yeah, let me just add this. So if a team is already doing Kanban, they're disciplined, they can, so you can actually use Kanban to do Scrum work.
Yeah.
But it takes discipline to succeed with Kanban, because with Kanban, they don't have all these rules that have been put in place as all these events that you need to constantly, leverage so that you stay structured. So it means that it takes a disciplined person or a disciplined team to do Kanban on a Scrum team and still succeed. But if a team is doing Kanban based on the nature of the work, let's say support work fixes, it will be difficult to adopt Scrum on that kind of team. You see, so most of the time, teams can easily move from Scrum to Kanban, regardless of the kind of work they are doing. But it's not always that flexible to move from Kanban to Scrum, regardless of the kind of work you're doing. You see, so I just wanted to add that information. All right.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
And my last.
Okay, go ahead.
Has there been a time that you had to take an unpopular decision, and what was the outcome?
Unpopular decision. I'm not sure if I was able to. I did make any unpopular decision because when it comes to making decision, it's very important to know what exactly is the outcome we want from that decision. So once you can understand the outcome, then I won't say it's unpopular. I'll say it's popular and is needed. So the most important thing in making any decision is the outcome and the impact. Once you're able to identify the outcome and impact, then the next thing is go ahead and do it.
Yeah. So it may be unpopular for that particular organization because that may be pretty new to them, but that's something we, as Agile practitioners, we are already familiar with. I think that's really where my understanding of unpopular, may relate to. All right.
Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah. So let's hear from Victor, please.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Coach.
Hello.
Hi, Ade.
Hi, Victor.
Hi. I just had a quick question. I'm sorry I'm unable to come to the camera.
It's okay.
My question is, so what's the difference? Is there any big difference between a Scrum Master and Agile Delivery Coach? That's all.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Victor, for that question. So, like you said, a Scrum Master. A Scrum Master is specialized in Scrum. And when we talk about an Agile Coach is specialized in everything from Lean, Kanban, XP. So an Agile practitioner is more experienced and support the organization more than what the Scrum Master would do.
Okay. So Victor, just to make sure we understand your question correctly, did you actually mean Agile Delivery Lead versus Scrum Master, or you meant Agile Coach versus Scrum Master?
Absolutely, Coach. Agile Delivery Lead, that's what I meant.
Okay. So
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Coach, let me answer that. So if it's Agile Delivery Lead, it's basically the same thing as a Scrum Master. So
I usually say they want you to do more than what they hire
More
you
than.
for, but they'll give you one paycheck. That's just what they're trying to do. Anyway.
Thank you, Ade. Thank you.
All right, let's see. And by the way, for those that are located in UK, right now, for some reasons this year, with all the whole changes, the layoffs and reshufflement in this whole tech space, for some reasons, we realized that the UK market now decided to transition their titles from Scrum Master to Agile Delivery Lead. Like, you can go online right now and verify. Most of the jobs out there for UK, from a UK perspective, they call it Agile Delivery Lead or Agile Delivery Manager. But if you go through the job description, it's all Scrum Master. So for those that are currently located in the UK, if you're looking for jobs, don't limit your search only on Scrum Master. Be open to Agile Delivery Lead, be open to Agile Delivery Manager, because that's really what they call it right now. I don't know why. All right, let's hear from Kameni.
Okay. Hello to everyone, and
Hi.
yeah, thank you, Mr. Ayedi, for your share. Okay, I just after your training is clarity. What challenge do you face when you have several as a Scrum Master regarding that having experience in that field, and how you overcome those challenges? Thank you.
I'm sorry. I think your connection is really breaking. So I would suggest that you type your question and then we pick it up from there. So just type your question on the chart there. All right, let's hear from Esther, and then we take that question from Kameni, and then we wrap it up.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Adeyemi. It's nice to have you in class tonight. My question is about so today we had this issue in class where we were using Jira, and so we're contemplating if we should complete our sprints before demo. So in the real world, with your experience, do you complete your sprints before demo or after demo?
All right. So what I would say in the real world is kind of unique to depending on the organization and how they do things. So during out of my 40 teams, we have some team, what they do is they do demo even before the end of the sprint. And what's demo about is an increment. You don't necessarily wait till the end of the sprint to have an increment. You can have an increment like on the third or fourth day of the sprint. If you have your stakeholders available, go ahead and show them what that increment is so they can quickly deploy it or add it to what they have in stock. So you can do your demo before the review or anything. So that doesn't matter. So it's most important thing is team agreements.
Yeah. So I think if I understand Esther's question correctly, I think it's more of a tool thing. Like, in Jira, where you will need to go click that complete sprint button.
Yeah.
You see. So I think if I understand you correctly, Esther, am I right or no?
Yes, coach, that's correct.
Okay, yeah. So I think she's asking, so do you have to wait until you're done with your demos, with sprint review, the official sprint review, before you go click that complete sprint button, or you can actually do it before that?
Or you can do it before, you can do it after. So that's why I said it depends on the team. So on the very last day of the sprint, we have a lot of activity, a lot of meetings, and you have different stories in your backlog and your sprint backlog. There are some stories that has been done. The PO has approved it. So you don't necessarily need to wait to click on done before you demo. So you can still demo before you click on done.
Yeah. So I'm just going to share my own experience. I think it really depends on the teams. For me, I would want to coach my team because I like housekeeping. I want to make sure that as we go, we are cleaning. I like to use this typical example. In my house, if you will go in my kitchen and cook and not clean up after yourself, sorry, don't cook. I'll better go do the work myself, because I don't want you to cook and then leave, and then I still come and do work again when you said you want to help me. You see, like someone like my husband, he would do the cooking and then I'll have to come and clean up for him. So I don't want that. If you truly want to be helpful, then be helpful. Clean after yourself as you go. So that's how I like to see this concept, the question you're asking. So it means that I coach my teams to be structured in a way that if today is the last day of the sprint and we are supposed to be doing a sprint review, let us also plan in a way that we want to make sure that our sprint is completely closed. We have actually clicked that close button, because at the end of the day, the sprint has ended. You cannot hold the time to not go. Whatever is left that has not been done, you will either carry it forward or put it back in the product backlog. So it's more of teams really being disciplined to plan like that, and then close out the sprints before starting the sprint review. That's how I coach them. And again, the ideal is always very different from reality. Sometimes I'll do that and some teams will pick it up. Some teams will just not want to do it, which is okay. It's all about what you're really there to support them, not to force them to do anything. Yeah. So
to add to that, Coach, so some organization, not all teams do demo. So if you consider that, you might just end the sprints and not do demo. And so it depends on what the organization is doing.
So to that too, as an agile coach wanting to help my teams improve, that's why I wouldn't want to call it demo, because it's really not demo. It's called sprint review for a reason. Yeah, which means that even if you don't have anything demoable, because if you need to demo something, it should be a working functionality. If you don't have anything demoable, we have challenges to talk about. One of my peers, when I worked for one tech company, said the best sprint reviews are the ones that without anything to demo. Because that's the opportunity when you can connect with those stakeholders and really communicate the challenges you're facing. Because if you don't have anything to demo, there should be something stopping you, causing that. And they may not really understand your reality as leadership, since they are not internal to the team. You see, so that's a perfect opportunity where you have them, because it's difficult to have these people available. So you communicate these challenges and also communicate your successes. And if you need help from them, anything, that's when you're letting them know, so that they're doing what they need to do to remove the impediments that are stopping you from being able to have something to demo. So yeah. Now, I think that's really it. That's the last question. Looking through the chat here, I don't see any other question that has not been asked.
Yeah, I think Octave asked the question.
Oh,
so
yeah.
So,
Answer the one, please. Go ahead.
When it comes to applying, it's a full-time job. You just don't be discouraged. The end goal is the target. So the end is what you're going to be targeting. As you're applying, you are getting those rejection. Just take it as a motivation to apply more. And you keep applying, you get those calls, you do your interview, they don't call you, they say they went with someone else. Just keep going on. One thing I know is the more you persevere, the more you keep pushing, and before you know it, you'll land your right job. That's one thing I used to encourage my team member. Just keep pushing, just keep pushing.
Yeah.
That's it.
For me, I usually say it makes no sense to give up on your goals, especially if this is something that you're really dreaming, because nothing lasts forever. If you're not getting it today, it's just a matter of time. As long as you stay on it, it's really a matter of time. It doesn't mean that if you're feeling down, if you're feeling overwhelmed, you shouldn't take a break. Take a break, but it doesn't mean you should be giving up. So if you're giving up, then it wasn't a goal for you. Because for me, if I put my mind on something, I mean, those that are my friends, they know, I will get it. Nothing is stopping me. Even if it's after 5 years, I will get it. I see that the homework stuff is still on the timetable. Jesus. All right, let's hear from, I see an email. So please, if you go ahead and ask your question, that'll be good. We cannot hear you. Yeah, go ahead, please. I see an email. I don't see a name.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to add to the situation, or the time when people apply. I recently had the situation that I had the scammer coming in. And I just wanted to warn everyone who is in the situation of applying for jobs that those scammers are out and they are smart and they approach you with wonderful options and jobs and offers, and it sounds good, it sounds great. They offered me a job for $150,000 or $160,000, and what was lacking was they never actually invited me for a real interview. And they never really kind of said what they really wanted me to do. And they kind of, were, kind of sound really fishy. And I was asking around, and people said, "Oh, doesn't sound good. Stay away. It doesn't really look kind of correct." And and so, I answered the questionnaire for them. I answered 15 questions. They didn't wanted to have, they didn't wanted me to go into an interview, like face to face, maybe on Zoom or anything. No, they wanted me to answer a question, write a written questionnaire, to fill these forms and stuff. I did that. And then next day they said, "Yeah, oh, they're going to hire me, right? They want." And I thought, oh, this is kind of very weird, right? This is a kind of very strange approach. So just be warned, because they wanted to set me up for a little nice office at home, but that also meant I have to kind of chip some money to and fro and this kind of things. They would like to reimburse me for it, but all these kind of things.
Yeah, very true. I totally agree. I mean, we've actually had people on these platforms as victims. So what you said is totally true. So team, let's be watchful, because, you're desperate. Some people are. These bad people, really, that's the kind of people they are looking for. Desperate people, because they know you can easily give into anything because you feel desperate. So while you're in this space, please stay watchful. Stay watchful. If something don't sound right, then there must be something not right about it. That's just how it is. So I'm not saying just shut it down if you don't feel right to you. Do your research.
Yeah, and ask your mentors or people who have more experience.
Yes, totally agree. Thank you very much. All right, that's it for tonight. And Adeyemi, thank you so much. I really appreciate this, and I'm very sure the rest of the team do appreciate it too. For the person asking if we'll be sharing the recording, I don't know yet. We've not made that decision yet. So if we'll be sharing it, then it would be on the YouTube. If you don't find it on the YouTube channel, then it means we did not share it. So that's how I can answer that question. So we are very thankful that you came here, and it was a very, very deep exclusive session, just like it was titled. So hope we can connect and continue to learn. That's it. Anybody has any closing remark? All right.
I just want to say thank you. We'll see you on the other side by God's grace.
Yes, Esther,
Thank
that's
you
the
so
spirit.
much.
You will see him on the other side. I like
See
that.
you soon.
Coach, quick question, please.
Yeah,
Thank you,
go ahead.
Adeyemi.
Adeyemi, how can we
Hi.
contact you?
Oh yeah, that was the other important question. How can they contact you if they're
How
interested in
can we
reaching out to
test
you?
you, please?
All
I
right,
like how you put it.
I'll put my contact in the chat. You can check me out on LinkedIn too.
He's very
Yeah.
popular on LinkedIn.
Yeah. I usually, whenever we have guests, I usually, when I'm asking for their contacts, I want them. My students can be very, very, so when they start coming after you like bees, don't be surprised. So when you're giving your contacts, know that you're really, truly open to accommodating them. Just to warn you, because I don't want you to come back in my inbox. Karen, please control your people. That's what I get from some people after them visiting. They start reaching out to me. Karen, like, what's going on? Please control your people. I'm like, okay. All right, Tim. I'm sure you got the contacts. Thank you very much. And I will be hanging up now. Bye-bye.
Bye.